The simple secrets our grandparents knew about healthy living that many have forgotten. Have you ever noticed that many of our grandparents seem to live remarkably active lives without counting calories, tracking every step, or buying expensive wellness products? They didn't have fitness apps. They didn't scroll through endless health advice online. They certainly didn't have shelves full of supplements. Yet many of them remained energetic, worked hard well into old age, and seemed to understand something that many of us are only beginning to rediscover. So what was their secret? The answer might surprise you. It wasn't a miracle cure or a hidden formula. Instead, it was a collection of simple daily habits that quietly supported a healthier way of living. Today, we're exploring 10 of those timeless habits that many families once practiced, and why they still matter today. Before we begin, let me know in the comments. Which healthy habit did your parents or grandparents teach you? Now, let's travel back in time. 1. They started the day slowly. For many grandparents, mornings weren't rushed. Instead of grabbing their phones the moment they woke up, they often spent a few quiet moments in prayer, reflection, or simply enjoying the sunrise. Imagine beginning your day without notifications, emails, or social media. That peaceful start helped prepare the mind before the demands of the day arrived. Today, many wellness experts encourage similar practices because a calm morning often leads to a calmer day. Sometimes the oldest habits are also the wisest. 2. They cooked most of their meals at home. Walk into a grandmother's kitchen, and you'll probably find fresh ingredients rather than heavily processed foods. Meals were prepared from scratch. Vegetables, herbs, whole grains, fresh fruits, simple soups. Cooking wasn't just about eating. It brought families together. People talked. They laughed. Recipes were passed from one generation to the next. 3. They kept simple kitchen staples. Open an old-fashioned pantry and you'll often discover familiar ingredients. Ginger, garlic, apple cider vinegar, baking soda, lemons, honey. These weren't trendy products. They were practical household staples used in cooking and everyday living. Even today, these simple ingredients continue to appear in kitchens around the world because they are versatile, affordable, and useful. 4. They moved naturally. Here's something interesting. Many grandparents never joined a gym, yet they stayed active. Why? Because movement was part of daily life. They walked, they gardened, they swept, they cooked, they worked outdoors. Exercise wasn't scheduled. It happened naturally. Today, many people intentionally take walks or garden because those same activities still provide enjoyable ways to stay active. 5. They spent more time outside. Think about childhood memories. Children played outdoors. Adults worked in gardens. Neighbors chatted on front porches. Fresh air was simply part of everyday life. Today, many of us spend hours indoors beneath artificial lighting. Taking a short walk outside, sitting in a park, or simply opening the windows can reconnect us with that slower rhythm of life. 6. They valued rest. One thing many older generations understood was the importance of proper rest. Evenings were quieter. People often went to bed earlier because there were fewer distractions. Television ended. The lights went off. Tomorrow would come soon enough. Quality sleep remains one of the most valuable habits for supporting overall well-being. 7. They shared meals together. Perhaps one of the greatest differences between then and now is how families spent time together. Meals weren't rushed. People sat around the table. Stories were told. Advice was shared. Children learned simply by listening. Those conversations created stronger relationships that supported emotional well-being as much as physical health. Sometimes the healthiest habit isn't found on the plate. It's the people sitting around it. 8. They worried less about perfection. Our grandparents certainly had challenges. Life wasn't easy, yet many accepted that they couldn't control everything. Instead of constantly chasing perfection, they focused on doing the best they could each day. That mindset often reduced unnecessary stress. Modern life encourages comparison. Older generations often encouraged contentment. There's wisdom in that difference. 9. They believed in consistency. Perhaps the greatest lesson our grandparents taught wasn't found in any single habit. It was consistency. They didn't expect overnight results. They simply repeated healthy routines day after day. Small habits, repeated faithfully. Over months and years, those habits became a way of life. That's a lesson worth remembering today. Conclusion. Looking back, it's remarkable how many of our grandparents' habits still make sense. Simple meals, fresh ingredients, daily movement, meaningful relationships, time outdoors, adequate rest. They weren't trying to follow the latest wellness trend. They were simply living in a way that balanced work, family, and everyday health. Maybe the greatest secret wasn't that they knew something we don't. Maybe it's that they practiced simple habits consistently while many of us have forgotten them. Which of these habits reminds you of your own parents or grandparents? Share your memories in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next video on natural living and traditional wellness. Until next time, remember this: sometimes the simplest habits are the ones that stand the test of time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.